And welcome back to another episode of the Menace Report, Fantasy Prediction Show, hosted by yours truly, Menace to Fantasy. Let's go. And welcome back to another episode of the Menace Report, Fantasy Prediction Show. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, happy Friday, or Friday evening. I told you I was coming in. Yeah, it's my time. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, real quick. It's going to be longer than 4 minutes, but it's not going to be long. I'm just going to hop in and give you my 2 cents that went down from week 1 in the NFL. Okay? So it's almost like a recap, but I'm not recapping our personal leagues, our head-to-head matchups. I'm just recapping the NFL overall matchups and just talking about some players here and there that will help out in fantasy and how they're going to go for the rest of the season. So let's stop talking BS and let's get right on into it. We're going to start with America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, versus the Super Bowl champions, Philadelphia Eagles. Now, it was Dallas 20, the Eagles 24. Close score, but really, I watched that game. In my opinion, Philadelphia was in control of that game. Now, Cowboys, they moved on from Parsons. They traded him. And overall, that defense, they bottled up Saquon Barkley. I know Barkley held a touchdown. They bottled him up. But, without Micah Parsons there, or somebody else stepping up, did y'all see Jalen Hurts? What he did? There was not that one person who was shadowing or just there to make a play in that boy. Jalen killed him. Jalen Hurts killed the Cowboys. All right? They did a job. They did better with the run, but they couldn't do nothing with a running quarterback. So, Dak was so-so. Wide receivers on Philly side, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown. That's the danger when you have a wide receiver on the team that threw the least pass attempts last year, and you have a strong running quarterback. So, let's move on to the next matchup. Kansas City versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Kansas City 21, Chargers 27. I'll start with the Chargers. Amarian Hampton, that is his backfield. Herbert, he's going to spread the ball around. He was spreading that ball around, and it's crazy because all the wide receivers they got, the last one you would ever thought blacked out, Johnston blacked out. He did his thing. I remember he was in TCU, came out. He didn't do nothing his freshman year. He didn't really do nothing last year, but he came out strong. Quentin Johnston. Pat is the team. Pat is that team. They're gonna have to make some adjustments because they lost Worthy. They already got Rashid Rice suspended. I know they don't want to burn out Travis Kelce, but somebody Hollywood Brown wasn't that bad. Somebody's gonna have to step out for Pat. But Pat did his thing, but they took the L. And they got a tough matchup coming up this weekend against the Eagles. It's gonna be crazy if the Chiefs start out 0-2. Let's jump back to the Cowboys Eagles. Carter was crazy spitting on Dak like that. That was crazy. And I'm shocked that they're letting him play this week. They fined him, but he straight up spit on my man. That was crazy. He didn't even get to play the game. So I apologize for going backwards. Let's go forward. The Miami Dolphins versus the Indianapolis Colts. Miami 8, them Colts 33. We'll start with Miami. Folks, the head coach McDaniels, if he doesn't find a way to turn this around, this might be his last season. He might want to be out of there. You got a quarterback that looked a little shell shock out there. He's got beef with his number one wide receiver, Tyreek Hill, which I don't know if y'all paying attention. He was pouting on the sideline like a BI, sitting there pouting. So they're going out there playing. It's not looking good. Not looking good, Miami. Them Colts. Danny Dimes was like, don't ever, Roberto, call me Danny Pennies ever again. Danny Dimes showed his ass. He balled. New surrounding, new environment. He knows this is his last shot to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. He showed up and he showed out. He did his thing. Now, it's crazy how the Giants just keep on getting burnt. First Saquon, they let him go. He signs with the Eagles. They let Danny Dimes go. He goes and does his thing. Like, yo, you should have kept me, New York, because what they got right now with Russ, when I get to the Giants matchup, it ain't it. It ain't working out there. They look a little crazy letting Danny go. Next matchup, the 6-time Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers versus the New York Jets. We got Steelers 34, the Jets 32. Now, if it wasn't for that late game, the Buffalo Bills versus the Baltimore Ravens, this game, in my opinion, probably should have been the game of the week. I was all into that game. That was a good game. All the Jets fans out there, even though y'all took that L, Glenn's going to get y'all right. That's just my opinion. Aaron Rodgers showed me something that he still got a little something in the gas tank. Am I happy that he's still a quarterback? No. I want the quarterback for the future. This is Aaron's last year. He's a one and done. It's obvious the Steelers pushed the chips in the middle. It's Super Bowl bust for the Steelers. But I was mad because the Jets quarterback, that's who I wanted to keep. Justin Fields looked good. He looked real good. Now, the big thing, because all the things I was hearing up here was how the Jets was going to go three-headed monster and this and that. That's Breece Hall's backfield. What a workhorse. He did his thing. That is Breece Hall's backfield. And I'm mad I could have drafted him, but I was scared. Breece Hall did his thing. Let's go to the next matchup. The Carolina Panthers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Duval. You got Panthers 10, Jags 26. I know they won. They were using their offense. Trevor was so-so. You know, the unicorn had a couple catches there. Brian Thomas, I know he had a little run touchdown. Travis Etienne did his thing. Over 100 yards rushing. Travis was like, y'all forgot. Y'all must have forgot who I am. He did his thing so much, they done traded Tank Bigsby out of there. That was just him and Basil Tootin. But Travis was like, this is my gig. He did his thing. Good job, Travis, because I could have had you too. I'm mad. Did his thing. For them Panthers, Tech was all right. Just all right. Something's got to change. We'll see. I still like that quarterback. It's only week 1, but I didn't see much. Let's transition to the next matchup. The Arizona Cardinals versus the New Orleans Saints. You got the Cardinals 20, the Saints 13. I'll start with the Saints. It ain't too much there. Spencer Rattler, I don't see how much longer you're going to hold that job. You really ain't doing nothing spectacular. Them Cardinals, I was happy to see Marvin Harrison Jr. 5 catches, I believe, had a tutty. And Trey McBride did his thing. Everybody else was irrelevant. In that backfield, James Conner got to start, had more carries, but Trey Benson looked more explosive. Kyler Murray was all right. But I'm so happy because I got Harrison in multiple leagues. Harrison looked like he was involved. He was looking for him. So I'm happy about that. Next matchup, the New York Giants versus the Washington Commanders. Giants 6, Commanders 21. Commanders controlled that game. Really not much in the backfield. I know the young boy scored a touchdown. Okay, not many yards. But let's focus on them Giants. Russell Wilson, if something doesn't change in week 2, we're going to see Jackson Dart. That offense was pitiful. That was horrible. Horrible from the G-Men. So I'm telling you, Jackson Dart will be the starter sooner rather than later. It's coming, Russ. It is coming. Next matchup, Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Atlanta Falcons. I thought this was going to be up, high scoring. They put up numbers, but not like I thought. You had the Bucks 23, the Falcons 20. Bijan Robinson's happy he scored for me. Drake London was involved. We had a Kyle Pitts sighting. He was involved. I'm happy. I got Pitts in Dynasty. He was involved. Michael Penix. I like Michael Penix. He's mobile. Got a big arm. Can throw. Falcons going to be all right, especially fantasy-wise. Hop over Tampa Bay. Greg, you got me. Baker Mayfield did this thing, but I got Jackson Dart. I'm happy. Did his thing. My boy I drafted, Emeka Ibuka, did his thing. I know Chris Godwin practiced today. Emeka Ibuka is like that. He's going to stay involved in that offense. I believe that boy had 2 touchdowns. He did his thing. Next matchup. The Cincinnati Bengals. Who they play? I think it was the Browns, the Cleveland Browns. You had the Bengals 17, the Browns 16. Joe Flacco was moving the ball, but really wasn't putting the points up. Joe Burrow, I think this is like the 4th year in a row, opening day, he kind of struggled. They got the W, but I thought he was going to air them jokers out. But the Browns got some defenders. They got some defense. But the Bengals going to be all right. It's Joe Burrow. Next matchup, the Raiders versus New England Patriots. You got the Raiders 20, the Pats 13. Now I'll start with the Pats. Keyshawn Booty went off. Drake May went off. They already came out and said there's going to be some snap changes. Trayvon Henderson is going to get more of that backfield. Because Stevenson is just a big body. He wasn't doing nothing. The rookie's going to get more carries. He's going to be Aaron. Diggs, I think he had about 4 or 5 catches. Flipping over to the other side. The Raiders, the number 1 target. Brock Bowers, 5 catches, 103 yards, and a tutty. Did his thing. He didn't practice again today. He don't practice tomorrow. He's not playing on Monday. And to tell you the truth, I don't want him to play. We got a long season. So that's why I picked up his backup, May. He's not really a backup, but we already know if Brock doesn't play, May is the dog. And we'll see what we can. I think he had 4 catches, May. Nothing what Brock did, but Brock is the number 1 target. If he plays, I love it, but we'll see. Geno did his thing. All right, we go to the next matchup. The San Francisco 49ers versus the Seattle Seahawks. We start with them Seahawks. I warned y'all, Kenneth Walker, even with the offensive coordinator's Kubiak, his outside run zone that's supposed to cater to Walker, he was touched by Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet got the teddy too. My man who I drafted, JSN, was heavily involved. He did his thing. That Seattle offense, I can see points is going to come hard. Hard to score tutties up there. You know, Sam Darnold, I think maybe had like 170 yards. As long as JSN was heavily targeted, I was happy. I'll take those points. Flip it over to the 49ers. CMC. Snowflake. Woo! Money, you got that dog. That's your team. He was like, in all CMC, I trust. And I think he had 9 receptions. He did his thing. And now, with Brock Purdy out for a couple of weeks, they're going to leave on CMC. And we know everybody knows CMC can finish the number 1 running back as long as he stays healthy. We all know that. The young man is nice. Let's see. I know Max coming in, Jones. He's going to be looking for CMC. That offense is going through CMC. Ricky Pearsall did his thing over 100 yards. Now with George Kittle going too. Pearsall, yeah, I got him on my bench. I'm thinking about plugging him in the lineup. I don't know yet. I might wait 1 week to see how Mac Jones does. But yeah, the big thing is CMC is definitely back. Let's go to the next matchup. Tennessee Titans versus the Denver Broncos. Tennessee. Tennessee had 12 points. The Broncos had 20. The no one pick looked decent, and I ain't expect much. Calvin really ain't do nothing. Tony Pollard got his touches. Flip it to the other side. Denver Broncos. Bo Nix did his thing. Cortland Sutton had his reception tutty. The backfield. The rookie, R.J. Harper, I think he had 5 carries, but he had like 70 yards over 5 carries. J.K. Dobbins had more touches, had the tutty. I was happy, but you see that young boy is going to eventually take that job. But I'm happy right now with J.K. Dobbins. All right, next matchup, the Detroit Lions versus the Green Bay Packers. Now, I got the Packers on my defense. And I'm not saying my skill is still curtain type defense, but one person, just his presence, makes everybody step up, be confident. I'm playing with Micah Parsons. Yeah, they looking for him, so they all single covered. They can do their thing. Jordan Love did his thing. He spread the ball around. Their tight end Tucker Kraft did his thing week 1, and he did his thing last night. So right now, he's the number 1 option. Josh Jacobs, over 60 yards, did his thing in week 1. They're going to run the ball. That's lovely. Flip it to Detroit. Whoa. I know Ben Johnson bounced, but that offense, I was like, all right, they're not going to miss a beat. I'm hoping they come back next week and much better, because that looked bad for Detroit and their new offensive coordinator. That was bad, but I'm assuming they're going to bounce back better. Next matchup, the Houston Texans versus the LA Rams. Houston 9, the Rams 14. Start with the Rams. Puka Nacua, 130 yards. I can't remember how many receptions, but Puka's a man. He's going to get the ball. Stafford looks for Puka. Going over to Houston. I know they made some upgrades on the line, but really that upgrade was not upgraded enough. They look bad. They look real bad. I feel bad for C.J. Stroud. I like C.J. Stroud, but hey, that offense looked bad. Skip to the next one. We going the number 1 game of the week. The Baltimore Ravens versus the Buffalo Bills. 40-41. What a game. What a game. I was entertained. That's all I can say. We all saw it. Everybody was entertained. I was fighting, trying to keep my eyes open to watch that game. That was a hot game. And the last game of the week for week 1 was the Minnesota Vikings versus Chicago Bears. Minnesota 27, Chicago Bears 24. I ain't gonna front, because I got J.J. McCarthy and Bears as my starting quarterback. I was nervous. That first half, I was like, what the? I was looking what the hell was out there in the wild. What you know, in the 14-team league, there ain't nothing out there. Especially everybody carrying a second quarterback, backup quarterback. Somebody in halftime told him, hey, you got Justin Jefferson. And he had a better second half. Finished the game with 3 touchdowns. 1 running, 2 passing. He looked much better, looked more confident. So whoever got in his ear, thank you. So now my faith in JJ has been restored. That boy can play. Go over to Chicago. Roma Doomsday got a tutty. Caleb, I know this is your first year with Ben Johnson, new system. The organization has spent money, that line, all these weapons bringing. If he doesn't start turning around, playing a little bit better, I don't know, Chicago, y'all might be looking for another quarterback. I don't know. They need more out of Caleb Williams. They need more. I think he only had 211 passing yards. They need more. Okay? That's not going to get it done. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me finish this up. That was my 2 cents. So, after each week on that Friday, I'm going to come in with the week, just my 2 cents, my version of a recap with a little fantasy put up in there. So, I'm not going to hold you. I want you to enjoy your weekend. I just got done with my first week of school, and I'm drained. My classes are cool. I'm just tired, though. So, let's end this correctly. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Peace.